Hi, Waypole. How you going? It seems like you've got a big fucking huge conundrum because of my case. I just have to find me pen. It's a pen. Put the guns down, officers. That's just a pen. It is by far mightier than the sword. I haven't even got one of them. Because now you've got GPs saying that they don't want to sign off the gun licenses because you want to cover your asses and get guns off the streets. Well, I agree. There's far too many guns in the central business district. Let's say Baldivis to Two Rocks in a circle, and Rottnest as well, because I know you like to fucking do business, take care of business out on Rottnest. So that's like a little dot where Roger Cook lives there. Actually, he lives in Kwinana, so he's within it, I think. I don't know, I don't usually go down to that fucking end of town. There's too many drug addicts. It's a real nightmare down there. So I stay up out in the country, mate, where it's real pleasant. Or mateys, Mahatis? Aren't we all Mahatis? Aren't we all Hardys or comrades? Are we comrades? No. You're all comrades. I'm a Mahati. Yeah, Mahati. So as long as all you fucking comrades stay in that fucking circle, right? And get rid of all the guns in that fucking circle, and we'll just buy them off you. We will be the people that live outside of that circle. Outside of that circle, you may have heard of it, is called Australia. It's called Aust. Now I know some of you've got some weird accents, so practice saying it at home before you say it out in the country. But it's called Australia, right? So when we buy all the guns that you seize off your citizens, do you call them citizens, or do you call them lives? What do you call them down there? I'm not really sure. With all the doctors, like, this is a weird mess, isn't it? Because then basically we can protect Australia, and you can point your fucking radar detectors at people and keep the little mouse on his little wheel. I'll draw a picture of Roger Cook now. If that's the wheel, right? All that revenue raising that you all do, that keeps Roger happy and walking on his little wheel. He's happy in the wheel because it makes him feel like a wheel boy. When you revenue raise, it keeps the Premier, Roger Cook, in the wheel, and that makes him feel like a wheel boy. So yeah, we'll give you 30% of market value for every firearm that you can seize off your inhabitants. And then what we will do is any police activity outside of your little circle there will be undertaken by a new entity called the Rural Western Australian Police. That's called the Rural Western Australian Police, because unfortunately some of these dynamics on these fringe areas, as my public testimony already counts for, these fringe areas, you sent 2 armed police officers from another country who crossed over a clearly displayed diplomatic boundary. with guns that were loaded, and they pushed me out of the state, and that's not allowed. And they did this because this is where I'm going to tie it back to the GP thing and the doctors not wanting to sign off, because that put all the thing on police. So that all tied back to one psychiatrist. I can't spell that word. Psychiatrist. I'll just put psych. Isn't it funny how psychiatrists, like they call them a psych, and that's the same as like what you called a psycho? Isn't that weird? Like, I think someone who tells people that they're all fucked in the head is a psycho, in my experience. I try not to disrupt people by telling them that they might. I'm usually like positive. I'm not telling you all that you're all fucking incompetent. Well, I have. But that's like a boundary issue. You just went over the wrong fence and you didn't realise. But I'm saying, go team. We're all in this together. I want you to get all the guns out of that circle. I just don't want you to get all the guns out of Australia at the moment. So you can concentrate on the circle where all the GPs and the police live, and where Roger Cook is in his wheel, that you guys keep spinning because of revenue raising, right? So you just keep on raising that revenue, raise it to the roof, raise it to the rooftops, and then we'll buy the guns at 30% value. So that's 30% value for the rural Western Australian police, and we will police any international crime, and also just like stolen sheep and stuff like that, because we'll need horses and badgers and stuff. It's a big country. We don't need any Matrix shit, because it just doesn't work like that out here. So you stay in the Matrix. I'll label it, take photos of this, make sure, because it's a whiteboard, so this will disappear. It will self-destruct. This message will self-destruct as soon as I wipe it with some toilet paper. Matrix. Is it Matrix? That's the Matrix, right? You all live in the Matrix. Sorry about it's messy handwriting. I should have been a GP. That's what people often say. They say, your handwriting's terrible. Are you a GP? And I'm like, no, actually, I'm a spokesperson for the Rural West Australian Police Service. And they go, oh, right. Keep up the good work. And I go, no worries. No fucking worries at all. We will. It's a big old place. But, I'm not doing it. But there will be people that will be specialising in police activity in rural areas, which is very different to police activity in the whatever it is that you've created down there, or that Roger Cook has created within his little wheel there that he has built for himself, that keeps spinning because of the revenue that you all keep raising for him. Just running through the streets. Sirens are blazing, just stirring up all the cattle, getting all the cattle to run around and do all that work, bloody fucking, you know what I mean? Like, we used to do it with mills. We used to get cattle, we'd give them a fucking brand on the back, and they'd spin around a circle and turn a wheel, a bit like that. But our wheel would mill flour. It would turn wheat, like the wheat belt, into flour, which makes bread, which is what most of the families out there stole in order to get here a long fucking time ago before you got here. So yeah, very similar. I prefer the old ways. I prefer to use livestock in the form of animals rather than humans, and I prefer to have a giant wheel grained into flour rather than using a giant revenue-raising police force to turn a wheel containing a premier. I'll put RC there. I love that it's RC because that means remote control. Like that. RC. The pen's running out. Faber-Castell. Is it a Faber-Castell? Yep. If you know anyone from Faber-Castell, flick them a line and maybe I can perhaps receive a texter. But I think this sorts out all the problems, and that way you can deal with whatever the fuck you're trying to do in the Matrix, and I'll deal with the large place known as Australia on the western side of it, on the western front, so to say. And that should be about it. Obviously, if you just make sure that we're all above board when operating in anyone's area, a little warning would be good. And I think this will definitely do. So also, probably a bit of a early little recruiting drive for anyone looking at making the shift. They will be two completely separate entities. They will have nothing to do with each other. In fact, one will report to the federal government and the other will report to the state government. So if you feel like you have been mistreated or like it's just not right for you, or I don't know, you can't speak Gaelic, then perhaps look at the Rural West Australian Police that should soon be sending some ads. It'll be like the ads that you responded to, except it'll probably look a little bit more like Yellowstone and a little bit less like Blade Runner. So, I'll just remind you all that policing is a very, very old craft, and not a lot has changed. For the majority of the world, it's pretty much done the same way. There are certain regions that are pushing into the ethereal with their policing, and they're like the Bitcoiners of policing. And for everyone that loves Bitcoin and all that, I'm sure you won't notice anything. And for everyone that likes just the more quiet pace, getting to know the community, the complex interactions, the complex family dynamic, all those things. Long, hard, passionate job, but there are some wonderful perks. There will be horses. There will be activities and things like that. So just a completely different, just a big separation thing. I think we did a pretty good job in Western Australia having one police force for a long time for a place this big. Obviously, those days are over. But what a great way that just between a few friends, I'm sure we're obviously friends, all of us, considering we all serve the same arrangement at the end of the day, and I think it's wonderful that we can just sit down and discuss something this complex and this emotionally charged with just a simple whiteboard. I'm going to go do some whatever these things are called, some curls. And not these are also curls, but some curls, so that I don't need to do the exam. That's cool. Also, VROs only exist in the Matrix because obviously we don't want to open up that file and start saying all those things out into the Matrix, because that might make people less trusting of the fine people that police it. So wonderful day. Wonderful day. I think personally the logo for the rural West Australian Police should be a dingo with a black swan in its mouth. I don't know whether that's a little bit too visceral, but I think it's perfect. So I'm going to try and do a little sketch of that, maybe on Canva or something like that. And so a dingo with a black swan in its mouth. What a great little picture, little doodle. I won't try it there because obviously this is a bit crude, and that would take a little bit more skill considering it's got such a thing. Also, there'll be a crown on it, the crown of the King of England, the real one, the one that he's actually wearing now. I hope, as long as I get confirmation on that. So happy days.